Joining us now, Middle East correspondent for the Jewish News Syndicate, Josh Haston. Josh, thanks for your time. Let's start with the charges. You've got hate crime and terrorism, and now the potential of the death penalty. Let me get your reaction on what has been handed down now to this suspect.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the death penalty would be appropriate for this horrible, horrible act, specifically trying to target Israelis, trying to target Jews there in Washington, D.C. The young couple there set to be engaged in just a few days. So absolutely, I would say they should completely throw the book at this terrorist who traveled all the way from Chicago to Washington, specifically trying to murder Jews, using Israel as the excuse for his horrendous act. So absolutely.
And I want to talk a little bit more of that and sort of differentiate the conversations that are happening. We had a statement from Benjamin Netanyahu, the prime minister, and he said Yaron and Sarah weren't the victims of a random crime. The terrorist who cruelly gunned them down did so for one reason and one reason alone. He wanted to kill Jews. So you have, some people who say he was out there with an evil intent to kill Jews, and then you have the suspect himself saying free Palestine, and this argument that he's standing up for Palestinians and the bloodshed in Gaza. I want you to speak to that because it seems as though the line gets blurred here.
Yeah, the Prime Minister Netanyahu also stating that this is actually a blood libel. In other words, people all over the world who are using Hamas propaganda and creating news items out of that, instead of actually following the facts, accusing Israel of carrying out genocide, starvation, and all the different things which are absolutely not true. So here you have this killer, the shooter, who's motivated by the lies, by the hate, by the propaganda against the state of Israel, and then going out and executing. Let's make it clear, this was an execution, the way he murdered these two young people, future diplomats at this event there in Washington, D.C. So that's what we're dealing with now. And it's crazy how Israel, we suffered such a tremendous loss on October the 7th with over 1,200 Israelis massacred by Hamas. And somehow the story, the narrative has been changed that Israel is made out to look like the bad guy simply for self-defense. So you saw the shooter was inspired by the hate being spewed by Hamas, being spewed on college campuses in the United States, and they're taking the matters into his own hands and carrying out this dreadful murder.
Yeah, sympathizing with the plight of those in Gaza does not and will not ever condone any sort of violence or execution, as you put it. Josh, thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you. Have a good day.